When I said it'll take me 15 minutes to set up my room, I forgot how long it takes to set up a room. I've spent 15 minutes and so far I've only fixed 5 desks. So, things always take longer than you remember. I have to turn all these things around, and I should be getting the students to do this because, 29 or so kids can do it faster than me, but, all of them working at once. But I want to just have the room ready for when they come in tomorrow, so I'm just going to do it. Put on some music and tighten up the screws on these desks so that the legs don't wobble, and fix the feet on them so that they don't tip. And I just wanted to debrief what we did this morning. So we had the kids out on the sort of the grassy area behind my modular, and I was a little bit unsure about how it would go to have 75 students outside. I've only ever done this inside, and I feel like when they're inside, it's kind of more contained, and I was a little bit worried about, will the parents be hanging around? But the parents were great. They went out in the field like they were supposed to do to get their orientation from the principal and vice principal. And the students in grade 4, I'm so impressed with what I've seen so far. They looked super keen, and they were responding to the signal, and they were just looked like they were coming in ready to listen, ready to learn, and have some fun. So what we did was we went over what we were going to do in the hour that we had them and described what it would look like, sort of like a little mini shape of the day. And then we did the attendance to make sure that everyone is accounted for, because when we set up the classes, if we have any movement in or out, it can affect the organization of the whole school. So we have to be super accurate in counting the students. Then we did introductions actually before the attendance, and then I prepped this a little bit, but I had them get into a circle, and I went over this a few times with the group, but just question number 1, what's your name? Question number 2, who was your teacher last year? Were you in blended, doing at-home learning and in-person learning, or were you at school? Did you move from a new school? Question number 3, what do you like about school? And question number 4, what will you miss about summer? So the students did a pretty good job of finding a group. I asked them to try to be friendly so that if someone was looking like they weren't in a group, then to invite them in. And 2 super keener girls were walking around sort of like being like friend ambassadors, checking to see if any kids hadn't found a group, and they were going to help them find a group. So that was pretty sweet. So they got into their little groups and they answered the questions. They were supposed to go around and everyone do question 1, then everyone do question 2, then 3, then 4. And if they had extra time, say more answers for what do you like about school and what will you miss about the summer. They kind of did it for about, I'd say 10 minutes. And then some groups were sort of giving body language that they were done, like standing up, or they just looked like they were ready to move on to something else. So I had some trivia cards in a bucket, and I handed them out to all the groups. I said, just have a volunteer read it aloud and answer these trivia questions. And I tried to add in a little humor today. So I said, you get what you get. Some of the questions might be kindergarten, some might be high school. I just made that up, actually. I think they're only like up to grade 7. Then a bunch of keeners were asking me for the high school questions. And so that was pretty fun to see that they're already wanting a challenge. So they got their trivia cards and they were answering them in their groups. And then that sort of lasted about 10-15 minutes. And then they were kind of done with that. So I thought, okay, I had one more thing up my sleeve, which was the world's smallest relays. We had no area. So I had them get up into relay teams by the fence and then just run to the end and do jumping jacks or high knees or a balance pose or something, and then run back. It was just 10 minutes kind of to get them moving and have something kind of fun, like sort of like a sports day. And then the thing that I wanted to tell you is my last relay thing that I thought of was the old school one where they crawl under the knees. And I was going to get a student to demo, but then I thought, oh, they might not know how, so I just wanted to keep it really fast. So I demoed and I kind of went under their legs. And as I was doing this, I could hear some groans and noises like that. And so I immediately had to get a plan B, because I'm definitely not in a place where I can put kids out of their comfort zone on the first day of school. So I stood up and I said, okay, so this one is optional. If you want to do this relay, get into a team over here, and if you don't want to do this one, you're the audience and go sit over there. And that worked out pretty well. It was a good save. So all the kids who didn't want to participate, they're not comfortable with crawling on the ground or having someone crawl under the ground underneath them. They were just sitting on the side and watching, and the ones that wanted to do it got to participate. So I actually only had about half the kids, maybe a third, that participated, but that's fine. When I have a situation where I have something to do in a certain amount of time, I always plan more than what I need, just in case something doesn't work, then I can bin it and I can pick something else. If something feels like I don't have 100% buy-in, pivot right away and to make it optional. Have your structure there so that you have something that you can go with, but then also to be ready to be flexible just in case you want to change something.